First, I just want to say it's very difficult to talk about this because when I compose, or well, let's say when one composes, but I mean me, I don't know what I'm doing.
Je suis d'origine américaine.
I'm American originally, and I did my education in music. I started in music and then in literature in 91. I moved to France for 1 year, and I never left. So I became French, and in Paris I was able to go back to really to music, and I found myself working with electronic work and composition. I was a saxophonist before, and from that point of view, composition and to work directly with sounds of machines, with electronics, was really suiting me.
Because the musicians are separated, the different voices are much more perceptually independent. It's possible to follow one or the other. It's more transparent, let's say, the texture. And it places us in the center of the sound. Instead of having the sound on a stage before us that we're safely separated from, we're right in the center of it. And it's somehow visually more coherent to me with the idea that I have in the piece. I'm looking, I'm experimenting, I'm trying, and I don't know what I'm going to find out, where I'm going to go, and it's intentional, of course. I'm going there towards the unknown, and if I knew where I was going, I probably wouldn't go there.
Pour l'instant, c'est d'essayer de trouver.
For now, it's trying to find sounds, mixes, and balances that work. After that would be to write out the different envelopes, different dimensions of the sound, because they will be entirely free. To get to that fusion point, musicians want to hear, listen to the electronic, and they will modify their way of playing to fit in that particular world.
I do electronic music, typically. So I'm used to working with machines, with objects, and directly with the sound. And there I don't have any particular human responsibility towards the machine. And I can just do any crazy, absurd thing and see what happens.
En musique, disons,
in music, I worked a lot recording my own sounds and program my own treatments. That was it's much a work of sound composition itself. And so to create some kinds of instruments that I play in studio to record the results, and then after that do the splicing of
le son qu'on reçoit avec le corps.
So the waves have to fill in the body, and the brain reacts to the sound we receive physically, totally. That's what is important. Also, it's a question of immersion in sound. When you get the space vibrating, we fill in the space with sound, we're bathing in sound, and one feels good. And the public, too.
C'est un grand tourbillon de son.
In fact, it's a sound whirlwind. It's something which, with an extreme level of energy, absolute intensity, which begins and continues in that way, and continues that way, with all kinds of elements that emerge. But you listen and you don't understand what's going on, and after a moment you stop trying to understand what's going on, and you just absorb the experience. That would be kind of like a natural event, a storm, or and it follows its own logic somewhere, and ends, and at the end you still haven't understood, but you've had an experience.
A vortex of sound, like total immersion in.
C'est que ce soit quatre.
The fact that it's four voices, independent voices, at the outside they don't even listen to each other. Each one follows one path that has an internal logic and has a progression and a strength and goes through time inexorably. And whether it be all four voices, very different simultaneously, not synchronized at all in
without
time.
worrying about what the others are doing, just continuing what he's doing, like a stone that falls down in the mountain. He's not bothering to discuss with the other stones what's happening. He's pulled by the force of gravity, and he's just going to keep falling until he gets to a place where the other natural forces stop his fall. So that kind of inevitability in the succession of things. So last remark I guess I want to say is the idea of a score. I want the interpretation for the piece to be very free. I don't think of it really as improvisation, but free. That is, it's written, composed, it is. Ideally, it will be written and composed, but without specifying exactly what anyone is supposed to do at any one particular point in time. So I want to find ways to give instructions, indications, examples, rules, limitations, drawings. I want to put the musicians in a situation, in a context in which they need to act and react following their own musical intuitions and judgments.
Parce que c'est le sonore
Because
qui
it's the sound that I'm interested in, and the passage through some symbolic writing, limiting. That's not what inspires my imaginary, and I don't like to be in a situation of someone who has to tell someone else, okay, you have to do this.
I think is that the processing will be sort of at the heart of the score. That each musician will have a series of processes, of electronic processes that he will be using, and that this series will be his score, along with indications about what will like about how long this event is that he's going to generate and how it fits with the others more or less in time, and so an intensity envelope perhaps, and a few other indications. And then he's going to be put in a situation of interacting with and reacting to the sounds produced by this in order to find the kind of some best solution musically that corresponds with let's say, with the idea of the piece and with his own musical personality.
Donc ce que j'essaie de
So what I try to get to do, that it be one instrument, acoustic electronic, that the electronic sounds fuse with the acoustic to create prepared saxophones, electronically denatured and made inharmonic and noisy and strange. Yes, definitely. To do that, that's the heart of the whole thing. And to let them live in space, live in the concert hall where we are, where we're playing. The sound must live its own life. What I don't like to do is to take one sound like an object. Okay, I'm the master and you're the subject, and then I'm going to cut the sound here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to set it up and whatever, and so that way I express myself. But that's totally foreign to my approach. My approach is that this sound, I want it to live and express itself. That it say what it has to say. It's the sound that speaks. That's what I'm interested in.
Working with these musicians is fantastic because they're really, really open and they're really eager to try all kinds of different stuff.
It's
a time of exploration that allows one to try things, to listen to the results of an experiment, and allows one to work like one would work in electroacoustic music, with the sound that comes out of the speakers, and then we modify it, and then we listen to what we've changed, so it's more in that direction.
It's been fantastic these 4 days, and we've arrived at a point, I think, where we can make a lot of noise.
Il me semble que si
It
si on fait
seems to me that if we make music that is looking for, or experimental music that looking for new ways of expressing itself,
il faut pouvoir
one needs to
travailler avec des musiciens
be able to work with the musicians
directement
directly, collaborate with them to be able to find.